you go, I will go. Wherever you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people. Your God, my God. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain. We all have sorrow. You think it's hard maintaining and being friends as adults?
Exactly like you said, when you see someone post, you think that they're doing good, or like you see them happy, you think, oh, they're living such a nice life, like they're having such a nice time. If uni wasn't there, I sort of wonder how easy it would be to make friends.
Do you think it's important to verbally tell your friends that you love them?
I think so, yes. Going back to like African household, I feel like the way our parents show us love and affection may not always be verbal. They just do things like actions. They probably cook for you, feed you, buy you nice things and so forth. But I feel like a verbal affirmation is very important. Although you can do stuff for people, sometimes people just like to hear it.
Not many Africans grew up seeing their family or like their parents saying I love you to each other, or like showing affection towards each other. You know, even when they do something to you, instead of them saying sorry, they're like, do you want chicken? Do you want food?
No, I don't want chicken.
Most of the time, people will talk about upbringing and showing affection only in like when you get to a relationship, but it also does affect friendship. We need to change the narrative so that our next generation can have it much easier.
Our parents, I feel like, because they fought so hard to grow us up into who we are now, they were too consumed with setting us to the right path. Like, they didn't see the importance of saying verbally, I love you. But
we've also learned to not be too harsh on them. They want the best for us. It's funny now because we've come to that understanding that, okay, this is why they did what they did. Some people are actually walking around with grudges against their parents because they didn't have the understanding of like, my mom is doing this for this reason, my dad is doing this for this reason. That's like a really important aspect. We love you, okay?
Yeah, we do. We love
actually
you.
love you.
Please.
But we still gonna talk, okay? Welcome back. So we are moving on to our next segment, and in this segment I've got a scenario that I want us to break down. So I saw this post on Instagram, and the person was basically saying that he's going to cut off all of his friends because he had some low days, some bad days, and none of them checked in on him. And I think he said he had like surgery for like a couple months or something, and nobody reached out, which is understandable because when you're going through like a difficult situation, you want people to be there for you. But I just want us to break down the scenario and just look at different areas and aspects of it so that we can try and like help us to also understand how, you know, in a situation like that, what to do.
I don't think that's fair because you can't, like I said before, you can't expect people to know what's going on in your life if you're not going to share it with them. You can't expect people to read your mind. Maybe he was upset the fact that he was probably absent and no one checked up on him. And I guess he divulged that into, oh, I was in hospital, no one checked on me. That's probably what he took from that. But I don't think it's fair to, you know, hold them to blame for that because they didn't know. And like you said, you don't know what's going on in other people's lives. Maybe during, because we don't, do you know how long he was in hospital?
3 or 4 months, I think, if I remember. Which is quite a long time. So I definitely understand it from that perspective. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's lack of communication, though.
That's a long.
I mean, it's a long time, and like we also need to understand, like, okay, what type of friendship did he have? Was it somebody that he'd talk to like on a normal daily basis, and now that he's gone like off for a period of time, they didn't check up on him, or like, you know, so. I feel like there's a whole lot of things to take, and unfortunately I don't have like all the details, but using myself as an example, I feel like I'm the type of person that even though I was going through something, I wouldn't like share it. I'm learning to like be open and like, you know, just communicate how I'm feeling about certain things. But so for example, it wouldn't be fair that I would go through something and now because you didn't check up on me to see how I'm feeling, I now use that against you and say we're not going to be friends.
On social media as well.
And say that we're not going to be friends. Obviously, you've now told us the challenges that you went through. During that time, yes, I would take, you know, responsibility for not checking in daily to see how you're doing and how the pregnancy is going. Yes, I'm sorry.
How they sort of relate.
Do you get what I mean? So like, if you put yourself in that position, it kind of makes sense that you knew I was pregnant. You didn't really check in on me like, you know, daily to see how things are going. But obviously, you've been open about it and you've now told us like how you felt and how things were going.
You know what the thing is? I feel like it depends on the person. So I'm the type of person where this is obviously, I'll let you know what goes in my mind. So I know that some people when they're going through stuff, they don't want to be bothered. So I feel like I treat people with the same, which is obviously not good because some people do not like that. So if I notice that something's happening with someone, I'm sort of like tiptoeing. I don't want to invade your privacy and like ask you too many questions that are quite sensitive. So in terms of that, I didn't take offense to that. But I think it was due to me being so consumed with everything that was going on that time flew by so quick, and I didn't even notice that you guys didn't check up. But I didn't hold you to that or find offense to that, and I sort of blame myself as well because you didn't know what was happening. You didn't know, and the thing, you didn't even know I was pregnant until
like later on.
Yeah, you didn't know, so I can't really hold you to that fire. I can't blame you for anything like that. And then again, so I wasn't comfortable at that time to obviously talk about postpartum and stuff like that. And you see, when I told you, I think it wasn't a christening, wasn't it? When she was, how old was she? 6 months or something like that. So it did take a while. But what I'm trying to say is that I didn't blame anyone, because I knew that I wasn't comfortable with talking about it in that situation, in that time. And when I felt comfortable and I spoke to you about it, you and everyone else gave me the reassurance that I needed at the time, and that was enough for me. Like, I didn't hold any grudge or anything.
Thank you. Thank you, because like I was thinking about it and I was like, I've learned now that okay, you need to be consistent and like checking in to see how people are doing. And obviously, like when we had that 1-to-1, we spoke about being intentional, like staying in contact. And I feel like that's something that people can also take out of it. You need to be in contact, because everything for me starts with lack of communication. And also not just lack of communication, also be willing to let your friends in. Like I feel like that's also like an important part. Because yes, I could have checked in on you, but because you wasn't comfortable, you wouldn't have maybe shared it until you are comfortable to now share it. So it's also a matter of like being comfortable with, letting your friends know how you feel, what you're going through, and letting them know that okay, maybe this is the way that you can support me, this is the way that you can encourage me, like just be willing and open to let your friends in on how you're feeling. But obviously depending on who that friend is and how they are, because if you're going to tell your friend something and they're going to blast it out to everybody else, and that's not something that you like them, or that you keep it away from them. But if it's somebody that they can be there for you, they can support you, then just be open to like share it when you feel comfortable. So going back to that scenario, what would you say your thoughts are on that?
I think now that you related to me, I sort of get it from everyone's point of view. The thing is, everyone has their own point of view, and that will obviously impact the way that they feel about a situation. In regards to him, he probably felt, like you said, if it depends on the friendship that they have. If they spoke to each other all the time and he was absent for 3 to 4 months, that is a bit weird for not to reach out. But then we don't know what happened. Maybe someone reached out, he didn't respond, and they sort of stopped. So we don't actually know unless we have the insight. And speaking from experience, 3 and 4 months does go by really quick, especially when you're going through something very hard and you don't realise how long it's been until the situation has happened. But then from his friend's point of view, if they did reach out, if they didn't, we don't know. At the end of the day, they didn't know. That's if they didn't know. They didn't know what was going on. They probably thought that he was going on a social media break, especially if that's something that he normally does. So I feel like communication, like you said, is a very important part to play in this. Because of the lack of communication, it has affected both parties. And then on top of that, I feel like we're in a culture where a lot of people post things on social media and let everyone know before they let their friends. Like I said...
Ooh, that's sunk in. Say that again.
Like
whoa, like I'm actually deep in it.
Like it's quite hard to speak on this because we don't know too much information. But speaking on what the vague, like obviously what you've said, I'm just talking blindly here. I feel like that's something that he should have addressed with his friends before. I wouldn't even post that on social media anyway, but that's something that he should have addressed instead of just putting them on blast. So I thought,
but what you said is actually so true. That you post on social media before you actually let your friends know exactly what's going on. Nah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's true. And I feel like that's something that we all have to work on. And again, it comes back to communication and allowing people in and letting your friends in on how you're feeling. Because I could be posting on social media 24/7, but yet when it's just me, myself, and my thoughts, probably like crying, or like you have to actually be intentional about it and check in on them and see how they're doing. So my last question, at what point do we draw the line between letting your friends in on how you're feeling and taking a step back and watch how they show up for you? At what point do we draw that line?
I think in relation to me, I would rather communicate. Because from what I've learned is if you step back and assume that someone will reach out to you first and they don't, that can obviously have an effect on how you feel and how they feel. And then you sort of, they haven't reached out to me, they probably don't care, or I'm bothering them, let me just, step back. But I feel like it's important to let others know how you feel, especially when there's someone that you can trust, because a friend is someone that you can trust, at least I'd hope. So I feel like that is really important, to let them know how you feel and let them know what you're going through in the moment, and obviously ask them how they feel, because it's supposed to be two ways, because they could be going through something that you are unaware or they're afraid to tell you. And so I prefer the letting them know rather than just stepping back and assuming that they will understand and assuming that they will reach out to you, because like you said, said, in their head, they could be like, well, I'm always reaching out to this person. They never reach out to me. And they could also be waiting for you to reach out to them. So now you're just both waiting.
And especially, like, let's say if one of you or both of you are an overthinkers, that's even worse, because now you're going to start trying to link things together, and you're trying to think of things that may even not, like, relate to anything. I feel like it's quite a hard line to draw, because it's like, okay, I feel like the moment that you start to step back to see how they show up for you is when you've communicated with them first and allowed them in on how you're feeling about certain things and what's going on. And then you see, okay, I've told them this is how I'm feeling, I've told them this is what I'm going through. Are they going to, like, see how things are now? What you said as, like, you don't want to bother people is actually a big thing, you know, because, like, it's literally a big thing, because sometimes I feel like that as well, like, calling somebody, I'm like, oh, I don't want to disturb them. Feeling like you're bothering somebody can literally make you isolate and distance yourself so much from them, because you're constantly feeling like, oh, am I disturbing them when I call them? Am I doing this when I ask them this? You know, it's like, and that feeling is not a nice feeling. I guess, like, again, back to communication, talking about how you're feeling, talking about what's happening, talking about what's in your mind. Yes, we all have relationships and friendships in our lives that we have to work on, and now that we're growing, we're able to have these conversations, we're able to, like, be open about it and you know, do something about it. And yeah, I guess, like, it's really important that we do work on that. So that leads me to my next question: how can I be a better friend?
To be honest, I think that you're a really good friend.
Oh,
I think that you're I feel like you're very intentional in what you do. I feel like right now I'm on a path of self-improvement and thinking of ways in which I can improve myself. I can't find the flaw in your friendship. I don't think that there's anything that I would change about you, because you've always been intentional since we were literally young, and you've always been a really good friend. You're always someone that I can speak to, and I call you my church friend. Whenever
some people are calling me a church girl, like, literally.
I've always thought of you like that.
Okay.
Honestly, I've always thought of you as someone who can, like, you're very spiritual, and I've always valued that about you and appreciated that about you. And I know that if I needed something where I feel spiritually attacked, or I feel like I need to be closer to God, or need words of wisdom, that I can speak to you about that. And you're a very good role model as well. My mum has always loved you anyway. But I feel like in terms of friendship, that I look onto myself more, and I feel like I'm on a path now where I'm seeing aspects of myself that I would like to change that may be affecting friendship, basically based on communication. So it's nothing with you, actually, it's probably with myself more. But yeah, that's just something that I need to improve on in order to better our friendship and friendships that I have with others as well.
Yeah. So. Thank you. I mean, I've always seen you as a good friend as well, like, honestly, and especially, like, I feel like you've been such a big factor in maintaining our friendship, because you've involved me in everything that's happening in your life, and I really appreciate that and cherish that. You know, like, you're bringing me along, even though, yes, we're adults, we've got responsibilities and everything, but you've truly shown that despite the fact that we're adults, you still, like, have a place for me in your heart. You've involved me in your life, in every achievement, in every, you know, big moments of your life. You've literally allowed me to be there for you and to, like, experience the beautiful moments that God has blessed you with, and I truly appreciate that. And, like, even during school time as well, we've always gotten along. You know, everything has been fine. Actually, I do remember, I think there was just one time, I can't remember exactly what happened, but remember we used to go to
work experience.
Yeah, and I think there was a time, like, we weren't talking, so you'd go your way and I would go my way. But again, we were childish during that time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, sometimes I look back at my younger self and I'm like, what were you doing?
And that's good, like, you're able to have a reflection of yourself and know the areas that you have to improve. And I guess with me as well, during this conversation and everything, I feel like it's helped me to pay more attention to how my friendship has been with other people. And it's not just for recording purpose, but because I actually do want to be intentional about being friends with you, being friends with others, and being there for others. So we've come a long way, and I truly appreciate how far we've come, and I know that God will continue to take us even further. And just like how you've allowed me in, I will also allow you into my big moments when they do come and everything. And yes, you was even there for, like, my 18th birthday. You literally bought a whole ticket and flew over to Belgium.
That's why I look back at, like, our younger years and I laugh, because before I used to be so hard on myself, and I used to wonder why I'd act the way I did sometimes, but that's the beauty about maturing, because everyone changes. Like,
So what would you say your favourite memory is of us?
You know what's so funny? You know how my favourite memory of us is when we used to take videos for your YouTube channel back then. Like, I still have the videos on my phone where we were so silly. We'd start dancing to music, like, you off your wig, I would off your wig, week. I'm so sorry. Literally, we'd be in what room was it? The computer room, and I'd literally just pull your wig off randomly. I'm really sorry for that. Oh my god, I was so annoying. But yeah,
and I think there was even a drama time as well. Like I was taking a picture or a video, and then when we were doing that recording for Miss, towards the end, you literally pulled off my wig, you know, and you threw it away as well.
Like I said, I was so annoying.
True,
yeah, there was a lot of fun times.
I would say my favorite memory. I don't know if you remember this, but remember that time that we went to do a photo shoot. So basically, this is the story, right?
Oh my gosh!
So we went to do a photo shoot. It was me, Aya, and one of my cousins, and we had like 3 different outfits. We didn't think we had to like.
You know?
Yeah,
I'll give it back. I'll give it. You still owe her.
I don't think I ever paid her. Like, so basically,
we're sorry. We're really sorry.
We went to do this photo shoot, like outside of school and everything. We thought, you know, we're just gonna get it done, get our pictures, and that's what we didn't know we had to pay. So we've done everything. We've done all the photo shoot. We now go into like a small room. The computer's there. The man who took the pictures is there. Myself and Ayu and my cousin were sitting there. The man goes like, "Oh, so the pictures and everything when you select them is gonna cost about 100." Remember, we were at school.
Yes.
We were doing
£100.
£100.
It was a lot.
We were not working at that time, so it was a whole lot of money to us at that time. So we opened our mouth and we were like, sorry. So all the pictures that we took and everything, like you're literally gonna charge us £100. Remember when I took my phone and I tried to secretly record the videos and the pictures? And so when we heard like, you know, it's gonna cost £100, I was like, listen, we don't want the pictures. I'ma just grab my phone and secretly
with the watermark on there.
I was like, we will take it like that. So I took my phone and I'm trying to hide. And I must have asked the questions like, oh, so can I just take a picture with my phone? She's like, oh no, you can't because there's a camera right there. I was like, hey! I literally fell on the floor. I started laughing. I was like, shy, I'm being cool. The mom was like, oh, there's the camera right there. I was like,
wow.
Because the camera was looking right at me, so they could have literally
seen me.
Yeah, it's like they could have literally seen me secretly trying to record it. So in the end, my cousin had to pay the money so that we could get the pictures. Until now, we haven't paid it back.
Look, the way we looked at it, like, so who's paying for this? Because we felt so awkward leaving there without paying for anything. And it was kind of pressuring us, like, oh yeah, these pictures were nice. The pictures were not nice. Did you see? It started from the makeup. The makeup. That lashes up to here.
What colour did you give me? Purple lips or something? Black dark lips. I'm just like, eee.
We should have known from then that this and the poses that they made us do. Like,
yeah, so my cousin had to pay for it.
We'll give it to you.
Yeah. We said God bless you, so I think God has blessed you enough to have covered for that cost.
She will never take us anywhere again.
Nah, but that was such a fun memory, and obviously that's like one among the many memories that we've shared, like the laughter that we've shared, the joy that we've shared. It's been great, and like I've truly like enjoyed our friendship and how we've also progressed, and now that we're adults, like now we get to know the areas that we have to work on. I also have areas that I have to work on when it comes to being friend and like being better. So what are your last words before we bring this conversation to an end?
Well, you know what we should do? Sorry, subscribe to AbiMes TV.
Woo!
Thank you for having me.
It's like your last word.
Well, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me to this. And I pray to God that you elevate and you are successful. And you do, because you've been wanting to do this since we were literally kids. And I'm so proud of you for finally doing it now, because it's very scary. So I'm glad that you finally, you know, done it, and wish you so many successes. And I can't wait to see how you elevate.
Oh, thank you so much. You've made the effort and actually come. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And I love you. We end with a hug. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed today's conversation. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And we shall see you once again in our next video. Until then, have a blessed week. Okay, let's go. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain. We all have sorrows. But if we are wise, we know that always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I need a friend.
I'll help. Oh, I said it. I'll be your friend. Wait.
I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Hey, so just call on me, bro. Okay, let's take it. 1, 2, 3. So just call on me, brother. It's somebody to lean on.